So our next topic is Diddy made a public apology for his actions that were caught on film, and they were horrific. The question is, the title was Enduring a Mistake That You Made. We all have to endure mistakes that we made. We all make mistakes in life. Not taking up for him, it was an egregious act. He made a mistake. My question is, how does a person process and deal with mistakes in real time while dealing with the consequences and perception? One thing about life is we all, you don't want to make mistakes, but a lot of times we all make mistakes. Everybody's mistakes are different. And unfortunately, he made a mistake, a major mistake, and it was caught on film, and he has to deal with the results of that now. Sometimes it seems like when you're down, it seems like when you make a mistake, people are kicking you when you're down. But as an individual, you have to be able to deal and process with the mistakes that you make in spite of all the consequences and perception and criticism. You have to deal with yourself and work to get better in spite of all of that, because people are always going to have something to say. People are always gonna, look at your mistakes as, I wouldn't have done that. Why did this person do that? But as an individual, you have to look inside of yourself, figure out, how did I get to that point? Ask God to help you repent. Nothing wrong with repenting. And through time, through self-development and prayer, and the help of God, you can get through those things, but you gotta accept responsibility and accountability for it. But you can endure a mistake. You can outlive, but you gotta take it across the chin as well. You can't blame anybody else but yourself. You can't be in denial. You have to accept, I made that mistake. It wasn't because of nobody. I messed up. And I gotta work through this internally to get through it, because there are a lot of people in this world, just generally speaking, made some mistakes, and it's hard for them to rebound from it. They hold themselves, they're real hard on themselves. And then on top of that, you got the world hard on you. So you have to find a way to resolve the issues that's within yourself that cause you to make that mistake. Because we all got issues, we all got things that we dealing with, we have to overcome. But you just have to be honest with yourself and know what you're dealing with and what you're overcoming. So I hope that he gets the help that he needs. I hope he learned from it. So my next thing is enduring a mistake you have made and taking the criticism without being defensive. This is one of the hardest things. This is the most humbling experience that you can experience, is to make a mistake and humble yourself and take the criticism without being defensive. Well, only did it because of X. I did it because of Y. I wouldn't have did it if it wasn't because of Z. Instead of just saying, I made a mistake, I messed up. It's all on me. I did that. I made that decision to do that. And like I say, the sense of responsibility, he made that decision, and you have to live with the results of that decision. Not from a judgmental standpoint, I'm just saying everybody in life, we all make decisions, we all make choices. Life is a series of decisions and choices. And it says people will come out against you at your lowest moments on every level of life. Even regular people deal with this. You mess up, lose a job, mess up in something. People will say, you did that? I can't believe you did that. You did that? You did? Why'd you do that for, And then the person that made the mistake, you have to soak all of that in so it will limit the chances of you making that mistake again. People are gonna criticize you. They're gonna say, try to grade on what you did. They're gonna try all of that, but as an individual, you have to work on to resolve your issues and recover. You're responsible for that. Nobody else is. You have to realize, just like you got yourself in the mud, sometimes you got to get yourself out the mud. While everybody's looking at you and making all the statements like security guard, saying stuff, secretaries, gardeners, people will come out the woodwork when you down. But the question is, what happened when you was up? What happened when he was up? Nobody was saying anything. It's only when you down and when you get caught and when you're going through the fire, when everybody come out and start fanning the fire. But if he can endure it, if he can work his way through it, he can get through it and resolve it. Just like anybody else that make mistakes. We all make them. We all got to go through the fire. As a matter of fact, anybody that grew up in the inner city, I told somebody on Facebook, in the inner city, a lot of people don't have mentors. You have your trial and error. That's your scars. They're from trials and errors. That's your mentor. That's your what helps you from not making that mistake again. Because you say, oh yeah, I did that. That's the scar right there. No, I'm not doing that again. I don't want that scar again. Because it may be different. So I hope that he gets the help that he needs. I hope that he works on himself. And understand, young people, when you make a mistake, you have to do the work to resolve that internally as an individual. Because other people that's on the outside looking at you, they don't look at things the same. They may not give you grace right off the bat. You ask to go to God and ask God to give you the grace to work through that internally. Because the other person may not forgive you. They may not forgive you. But you have to forgive yourself and understand that I made a mistake and not be in denial, not blame the other person, but knowing that your actions, the decisions that you make, you're responsible for. Then we go to our next slide. Decision making. Decision making. How tough is it, or how tough it is making decisions in life? This is for my youth. This is not easy to make decisions in life. And I have that life does not care if you don't know. It does not stop the results that happen at the end of that road once you make that decision. Sometimes you're faced with a decision. I give you something simple. If you know you're allergic to lactose or you're allergic to milk, whole milk, it will not be in your best benefit to drink it. Because if you do, your stomach gonna hurt, maybe your whole body gonna hurt until it gets out of your system. That's the price you're gonna pay for drinking something with lactose or dairy, knowing that you're lactose intolerant. Now, if somebody says that, hey, I didn't know I was lactose intolerant. Okay, I get it. But you're still taking a risk because anytime you eat something, you don't know if you're allergic to it or not. You're just trying it. Whether it's sushi, whether it's something fried, anything. If you try food for the first time, you don't know how your body gonna react to it, but you take the risk and say, I never tried this before. Sometimes you make that decision so fast, you don't even think about it. It's like you saying, I never had this, I'm gonna try it, and if it messes with me, that's the consequence I'm gonna have to take because I never tried it before. But once you try it, or sometimes you can learn from other people's experiences and you can see that other people have tried it before you. If you know 5 or 10 people that has done it and it didn't work for them, why do you think it should be different for you? when it comes down to decision making. I'm gonna show you this graphic real fast. Like, when you get to that point right here, where it's like you come to that 3-part decision, you got a decision to make. Like when you think about food, you either gonna eat it, you kind of still thinking about it, or you're not gonna eat it because you're allergic to it. If you go ahead and try it, even though you never tried it before, you're assuming that whatever happens after I swallow this, I gotta take what come with it. That's the same way in life. Life, what you don't know will hurt you. Making decisions and stuff you don't know nothing about can hurt you. And I want to play a clip real quick that I seen. Shout out to Vlad TV, man. Shout out to Vlad. And I want to show you, kind of sum it up. And this is a dude from the streets, Whack 100. Shout out to Whack. He said this about Blueface. He's in jail. And he asked him, why is he in jail? Check this out.
And if you do have some sense of responsibility to yourself, you have to know what you're dealing with, and never could you allow that type of situation to make decisions, right? That could be that detrimental in your life, right? So, you know, Rock does things, but they can be controlled. His decisions ultimately come down to him.
Y'all see that? Your decisions ultimately come down to you. He said if you got a sense of responsibility, you have to know what you're getting into. You have to explore that before you make the decision. You have to look into that. Can I handle this? Is this what I want to deal with? Am I okay with this? When you think about having a family, one of the things, I don't know if people realize this, the doctor sometimes asks you is, do you have the sickle cell? Do you have sickle cell or sickle cell trait? These are things you have to think about. Is this person generally healthy? Do they have a condition? DNA, because if you're trying to build a family, you want to give your family the best chance off of everything that you can know. You want to give them the best chance. So if you had sickle cell and then the person you meet, they have sickle cell, you got a choice you got to make. You should do this before you start to develop feelings. You need to understand what am I dealing with? Because if you had a condition and that person had a condition, the chances of you passing that to your kids is high. You go from 0 to 50% chance to probably 60 to 75 to maybe 100% chance that the kid will develop that condition as well. We have to think about those things as a community. We have to be mindful that when you're talking about reproducing, those things factor into it. No different than addition. 2 + 2 = 4. So, decision making. Another thing is, you used to hear this phrase from older people. You over there doing something you ain't got no business doing. And I'll sum this up for you. If you're doing something you know you don't got no business doing, and you still do it, you're gonna take the business that come with that, whether you like it or not. That's the business that came with that, and you should have, if you don't know, don't do it. That's what I tell you. That's the simplest way I can tell you. If you don't know, don't do it. Decision making is one of the best assets you have from 17 to 25 when you don't have no finances to get to financial success. Your decision making is the best asset that you have. I can't stress it enough.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Your decision making is the best asset that you have. That's why I say education, trade, vocation, military. When you're young, the options that you can go into are unlimited. As you get older, they start to shrink based on age, based on your health, based on your circumstance. Some vocations, some like military, it's an age cutoff limit. Some careers, it's a time investment in order to educate yourself to get to the point where you can be verified or certified. Like to be a doctor, I think is almost 7 to 8 years of school, and it may be more than that if you want to specialize in something. You could be looking at 10 years of school. So if you started that when you're, 18, and you're done by the time you're 28, you will be financially stable, probably for the rest of your working years. But if you don't do that, you make the decision to just work at a regular job, not a career job, no benefits, no paid time off. You just have to be at work every day, whether you want to or not. There's no paid time off. If you got to work on Saturday, you're going to have to be there on Saturday, whether it's a holiday or not. And it all stemmed from a decision you made. Instead of me trying to elevate, I'm just going to stay right there on the baseline. So, decision making is very important. So our next slide is